Welcome to Catalyst Med Up, where we ignite understanding and make learning easier. In our today's class, we'll be looking at the Azygos, Hemiazygos, and Accessory Hemiazygos vein. But before we should enter the class proper, let's look at this diagram here. It will show us, or it will allow us to understand more on what we shall be discussing later. From this diagram, up here is our superior vena cava, and down here is our inferior vena cava. As you can see from the right side here, you can see that this vein here is served as a means of the connection between the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava, and that vein is the azygos vein. The one or the vein that is in the right side, which serves as a connection between the inferior vena cava and the superior vena cava, is the azygos vein. To our left part, it has two parts. There are veins that are in the lower part and there are veins that are in the upper part. The veins that are in the left lower part, they are the hemiazygos vein, and they are the mirror image of the lower part of the right azygos vein. Whereby they are the left upper part, they are the accessory hemiazygos, and they are the mirror image of the upper part of the right azygos vein. So this will just be the overview. In the right side, there are azygos vein. In the left side, there are hemiazygos and accessory hemiazygos. Now, we said all this part here is our azygos vein, whereby the lower part here is our hemiazygos, and the upper part here is our accessory hemiazygos. Now, this is the formation of azygos vein. Azygos vein is commonly formed by the union of the right subcostal vein, the right ascending lumbar, and occasionally it can also be formed by the right renal vein. So from here, this is our right subcostal, and this is our right ascending lumbar. The right ascending lumbar and the right subcostal, and occasionally the right renal vein forms the azygos vein. And also the azygos vein has a tributaries. The upper three parts here, that is the second to the fourth, they are called right superior intercostal vein, whereby the lower fifth to the 11th, they are right posterior intercostal veins. So these are the tributaries of the azygos vein. Azygos vein is formed by the union of the right subcostal, the right ascending lumbar, and occasionally by the right renal vein. And the tributaries of it is that the upper three right posterior intercostal vein union together to form the right superior intercostal vein. Fifth to the 11th, they are the right posterior intercostal veins. Now, to the left side here, we said that the lower part of it is the hemiazygos vein, corresponding to the lower part of the azygos vein. The hemiazygos vein is also formed majorly by the union of ascending lumbar, also left subcostal vein, and from here, this is our left renal vein. And the hemiazygos vein ascend upward at the left side of the vertebral column up to the level of the T8 thoracic vertebra. At the level of the T8 thoracic vertebra, it now crosses to the right side, and from there it terminates by joining the azygos vein. Also, the accessory hemiazygos vein is the upper part, is the vein that is present in the upper left side and corresponds to the upper side of the azygos vein. So the accessory hemiazygos descend vertically downward at the lateral side of the left vertebral column, and at the level of the T8 thoracic vertebra, it also crosses to the right and terminates by joining the azygos vein. There are other tributaries of azygos, hemiazygos, and accessory hemiazygos. We'll get to know them as we continue with the class. Now, the azygos vein, the term azygos simply means unpaired. Azygos simply means unpaired. It is a vein that occupies the posterior mediastinum and the upper lumbar region. It drains blood from thoracic wall and upper lumbar region. In addition to the draining of the blood that it does, it also serves as a means of connection between the superior and inferior vena cava. It also connects the vertebral venous system, the portal venous system, and the vena venous system. It connects all these three venous systems together. There is short introduction to the azygos vein. Next one will be the formation of the azygos vein. Introduction. Formation of azygos vein. Well, the azygos vein are majorly formed by the right subcostal vein, the right lumbar vein, and right ascending lumbar at the level of T12 thoracic vertebra. Occasionally, it can also be formed as a continuation of the right subcostal vein, right renal vein, and the posterior aspect of inferior vena cava. That is about the formation of azygos vein. Next is the causes of azygos vein. The azygos vein enter the thoracic wall by passing through the aortic valve present in the diaphragm, and from here it ascends up to the level of the fourth thoracic vertebra, where it has a relationship with the posterior vena cava before it pierces the pericardium. So that is the cause of the azygos vein. The next is relation of azygos vein. The azygos vein has anterior relation and the posterior relation. The anterior relation of azygos vein is anteriorly it has a relation with oesophagus, and posteriorly it has relation with right posterior intercostal artery, right posterior intercostal artery, and lower 8 intercostal vertebra. These are the posterior relation of the azygos vein. Now, the relation of it to the right, the azygos vein has a relation with the right lung and pleura. Right lung and pleura. It also has a relation with greater splanchnic nerve. And to the left, it is related to the oesophagus and trachea at the upper part of it, and thoracic duct and the aorta at the lower part of it. These are the relations of the azygos vein. Up next is the tributaries of azygos vein. The tributaries of the azygos vein is that we should know that the azygos vein is only located in the right side of our body. So the tributaries of the azygos vein are: 1. The superior intercostal vein, and this superior intercostal vein is formed by the union of second to the fourth right posterior intercostal vein. Right posterior intercostal veins. The union of the second to the fourth right posterior intercostal vein forms the superior intercostal vein. Another tributaries of the azygos vein is 5th to 11th right posterior intercostal vein. Intercostal vein. There is Hemiazygos vein as the tributaries of Azygos vein at the level of the lower border of 8th thoracic vertebra. Next one is accessory Hemiazygos, also as the tributaries of Azygos vein at the level of the upper border of the 8th thoracic vertebra. Hemiazygos is at the lower border of 8th thoracic vertebra, lower border of 8th thoracic vertebra, whereby the accessory Hemiazygos is at the upper border of 8th thoracic vertebra. Another tributaries of the Azygos vein is right bronchial vein, which usually originated at the termination of the Azygos vein. There are also many oesophageal veins. The mediastinal vein, right lumbar vein, right subcostal veins, and pericardial veins. These are the common tributaries of Azygos vein. Clinical correlation. The clinical correlation of the Azygos vein, we say that the Azygos vein forms a channel or the connection between the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. Now, one of the clinical correlation of the Azygos vein is that during the obstruction of superior vena cava, it provides a collateral channel that will drain the blood from the upper part of the body directly into the inferior vena cava. So it serves as a collateral channel during the obstruction of superior vena cava. Hemiazygos vein. The hemiazygos vein is also called inferior hemiazygos vein because it's the mirror image of the lower part of the azygos vein. It's located at the left side of the body. The formation of hemiazygos vein. Hemiazygos vein is formed majorly by the union between left subcostal vein, left ascending lumbar, and left lumbar vein. Occasionally, it can also be formed as the continuation of the left renal vein. So this is about the formation of the hemiazygos vein. Cause and termination of hemiazygos vein. The hemiazygos vein shares the left cross of the diaphragm and ascend vertically upward in front of the left side of the vertebral column up to the level of the T8 thoracic vertebra. At the level of the T8 thoracic vertebra, it turns right and terminates at the azygos vein. Tributaries of hemiazygos vein include 9th to 11th left posterior intercostal vein and left subcostal, left ascending lumbar, small oesophageal and mediastinal veins. These are the common tributaries of hemiazygos vein. The accessory hemiazygos vein, it is also called upper hemiazygos vein. It is the mirror image of the upper part of the azygos vein. It is also located on the left side of the body. The cause and termination of accessory hemiazygos vein. The hemiazygos vein originated from the medial end of the left 4 and 5 intercostal space. Now descend to the left side of the vertebral column up to the level of the T8 thoracic vertebra. At the level of the 8th thoracic vertebra, it turns right and joins the azygos vein. The tributaries of accessory hemiazygos vein include 1. 5 to 8 left posterior intercostal vein, and occasionally left bronchial vein. So these are the tributaries of the accessory hemiazygos vein. This is just an overview of the azygos, hemiazygos, and accessory hemiazygos vein. Kindly subscribe, comment, like, share, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss any new video.